I can't put together the words to say. You can't use the words horrifying or anything. I just remember Houston becoming a new home for me and being excited to finally get to share a little bit about what I love about Houston and having my best friend come into town, and that was all we were looking forward to, this concert, just making memories and everything, and always being on alert, knowing, okay, these concerts are scary, people making jokes about it, but I always like to be aware. I remember that day we were gonna get there later, but something just kept telling me, let's go earlier, let's go earlier. We went around 2, and I remember it was just a mess. It was horrible. There was people just walking in and out everywhere. Like, it wasn't organized. You wouldn't see securities. I remember getting to the checkpoint and looking at my best friend and be like, why are there people here? Like, why are they just standing here? There's no one here, covering them. Like, I don't feel safe. I hope everything is okay. Not knowing what happened earlier in the day. Then I finally got in. They never checked my bag or anything. They were letting people pass by with beers, cans, and all these different things. They weren't even checking on anything. I remember getting to the merch and just being like, okay, it's probably crowded in there. Let's see this merch line. Let's wait here. And all of a sudden, you just hear yelling and you just see people running. And I just remember I just got in defense mode and looked at my best friend and told him we need to leave. We need to get out of here. We're going to get trampled. And I remember him just being like, it's okay. Don't freak out. You're good. You're overreacting. And I'm being like, no, I'm not overreacting. I told you from the beginning. These people are waiting for something. They're waiting to just run in there. Like, everyone knows that people plan this out. And it's just frustrating knowing that I was just a person that never experienced any of this, and I could see it, and not seeing any workers anywhere, no police or anything. And then I got lucky to be able to cut into the right merch line. And I remember waiting there thinking, okay, the chaos is done. I remember seeing people getting thrown on the ground, and I remember making the comment to my best friend, I refuse to ever be at a place and witness someone die in front of me and me not be able to do anything. And I remember thinking, okay, it's settled, people aren't gonna come in anymore. I remember seeing security just recording everything, and I'm like confused what's going on. It took some minutes, and finally you see a bunch of sheriffs come in horses. And the annoying thing is, instead of them going to block off the VIP section, preventing from more crazy people to come in, they all just face us. And you just see them recording us. And it was just a horrible feeling, thinking people that's supposed to protect us is just looking at us like we're some fools, like we're supposed to basically protect each other. And I remember just yelling at them, why are you guys pointing at us? Why are you guys intimidating us? We were here. We're trying to avoid all this chaos. I remember 2 hours passed. People were getting really crazy on the left side of the merch. They were blocking it off. They weren't letting people come into that merch line. And I remember just saying, something's crazy is going to happen. I still don't feel comfortable here. And I remember my friends trying to joke off, trying to get me to feel good about it and not overreact like I always do. But I just didn't feel good. And then all of a sudden you just see people cheering, and then everyone just breaks in that line and they get crazy and they started pushing each other just to get merch. And then I remember I was like, no, I was like, my line is short. I know something is going to happen. And I just remember looking back and then everyone just running, jumping, them pushing us to the side, not caring. And I remember yelling at them, like, why are you guys acting like this? Like, it's nothing. Like, we've been here for hours. Like, at least be respectful. Don't throw us to the side or anything. And I remember just dealing with that for 4 hours, being in that merch line, asking people, can you please give people water? Can you give us this? And I remember security just joking with us, laughing at us, telling us, oh, you guys are okay and everything, trying to joke around about us, about the merch and all these things. And I'm like, this is so insensitive. Thank goodness for that merch line, because I was able to also meet 2 other people. And those 2 other people, we stuck together. It was about 6:30 where we finally were able to go into the event. And I remember, I need to go get water for everyone. I need to make sure that we're good and everything. You guys stay together. And I went with one of my friends. We were in the long lines. You couldn't even get water. The horrible thing is, the free water stations, they only had one in the beginning when you enter, and then one all the way at the end, and no one could see where the porta potties were, and the lines were ridiculous, and the only way that you could get water is if you had a container. And I remember people begging, asking for empty water bottles, asking for anything, and being able to just, okay, I'm gonna take care of my team. and we were good. Little Baby performed. It wasn't that wild, and then it was time to move to the Travis stage. And when I saw people there, I didn't think much of it. I was just like, okay, I hope they're okay. I remember people just suffocating because people were just smoking in the crowds. There was different things going on, and in a type of environment like that, you can't have a lot of the oxygen taken away. And I remember just looking at my friends like, if we need to eat, let's go get everything now. Let's get together and do this and that. Okay, we got food. We came back. We were excited. We're like, okay, all that traumatizing stuff, let's put it to the side, hoping everything is going to be good. I remember just looking everywhere, and then my friends warning me about everything. They remember them telling me, it's going to get really pressured here. Make sure that you know that you can breathe good. Make sure that you have space. Make sure that if you feel claustrophobic, you go sideways. Do not go forward. Do not go straight. Do not do anything. Go sideways and try to leave, because it will get packed here. And then I remember just having people literally push us, cut us in front of us. I had guys that were 6 feet tall in front of me talking about, we're going to rage right here. One of them had crutches. I remember him saying, I'm going to hit people with this crutch, and just making signals and stuff like that. And I remember just having anxiety and telling my friend, I can't do this. I know you're joking around about it, saying that it gets really pressured and you can't breathe, but I just can't. And I remember looking at the two people that I saw there, and then all of a sudden someone just fell on us, and that's what honestly freaked me out the most. And I looked at them and I told them, I can't do this. And it was literally 1 minute left for the countdown for him to come out. That moment I heard that time go down and that annoying music finally stop, which I can't stop hearing that music, by the way. Like, every day it's just playing back and forth, and it's just traumatizing. And I remember just looking at them and telling them, I can't do this. I can't. I have to go. And the thing that breaks my heart the most is I don't know if one of the people there is still severely injured or not. And I remember just seeing news, and I hate that people are making false claims saying that someone died. And I'm me trying to figure out, okay, is this person good or not? Why didn't I tell them to leave with me? Because the moment that countdown went down, me and my friends just grabbed each other and we went sideways. And I remember everyone just pushing forward, and it was hard breathing, but we were able to get out. And we were in a section away from everyone. But I remember the whole time I just kept looking around. I was like, this doesn't feel good. Something's going on. And I remember him just saying words like, I need this stage to feel, I need an earthquake. And I was saying, why is he telling people that? I'm seeing a bunch of emergency response. I barely see anybody around. There was no security everywhere. It wasn't organized very well. I remember people just begging for water and me getting mad. Why is it, you guys have so much money, why can't you just give free water for everyone? The water was selling out, and it was hard for people to get it. The concert was done, and we all just thought, okay, it's just a concert. People are probably just dehydrated, they fell and everything. And literally, the last moment that I turned around, I witnessed someone on the ground. They were getting compressed, and there was an EMT machine on them. And I just remember yelling at the paramedics, please do your job. You're not doing it right. You're not taking care of him. And just yelling. And then you just see them literally grab the body and just throw it in a cart like nothing. And that broke my heart, because all I wanted to do was go and run behind them to make sure that that person was okay, but I couldn't, because everyone was trying to leave, and it was just chaotic, and leaving that place was horrible. I lost my friends. I got lucky that I knew where my parking lot was, but all that moment, I didn't know how crazy everything was, because I had no service. And then waking up the next morning, having calls and texts from people asking, are you okay, are you good, this and that, and I was wondering what's going on. And then finally looking at the news and seeing the stuff that I saw wasn't just what I was thinking, was really more than traumatizing. That word I can't even speak of it, because it's such a horrible feeling, thinking that I witnessed someone lose their life right in front of me, and have people there just say, oh, it's drugs, or it's just this and that, and me saying it's a life, that it could have been more. And then seeing the face of who it was breaks my heart to this day. And it's horrible, because all of this could have been prevented before the event could have even happened.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.